The animals did it. The green truck with red, yellow and blue boxes went chuck 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 along the road. Bumpty bumpty bum, the boxes jumped up and down. Mr. Q, the driver, a small man with a big smile, hummed along as he drove down the winding road merrily. Da-dee-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Parties are fun, parties are fun. Mother Duck with her duckling was crossing the road just as the truck came along. Honk, honk, honk went the horn. Quack, quack, quack went Mother Duck. Where are you off to with all those small boxes, Mr. Q? Asked the man at the drink stand where he stopped for a drink of cool lassi. I'm going across the river to the children's hospital. They have a party tomorrow. I'm taking balloons, games, toys, and candy for the children, said Mr. Q. Well, good luck, said the man. Chuck, 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 bumpty, bumpty, bum, went the truck. Mr. Q hummed along. Da-dee-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Parties are fun, parties are fun. Where are you going, Mr. Q? Asked the man at the petrol pump. I'm going across the river to the children's hospital. They have a party tomorrow. I am taking balloons, games, toys and candy for the children, said Mr. Q. Chuck, 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 bumpty, bumpty, bum, went the truck as Mr. Q drove away. The green truck with the red, yellow and blue boxes came to the bridge that went over the river. Screech! Mr. Q pushed the brake pedal to stop the truck. His smile turned upside down. The bridge was broken and the truck could not cross the river. What will I do now? The children at the hospital must have their party. I must get help, said Mr. Q to himself as he opened the door and got out of his truck. A purple boat was coming down the river. Can you please take me and my boxes across the river? Mr. Q asked. Sorry, sir. I'm busy. I'm getting late for my passenger pickup, said the boatman, and he sailed on. A red boat came down the river. Mr. Q waved to him. Can you please take me and my boxes across the river? There are toys and games for the party tomorrow at the children's hospital. Sorry, no time, said the boatman as he sailed on. The sun was now coming down. If he didn't take the boxes across, there would be no party. Mr. Q felt sad. He sat on a rock near his truck and hoped some help would come. Two rabbits were running across and stopped. A strolling deer came close and looked at Mr. Q with kind eyes. A flock of birds flying over his head landed on his truck. It seemed that the animals wanted to help him. Mr. Q looked at them. I don't know what to do, he said. The children at the hospital will not have their party if these boxes don't get there on time. The bridge is broken and my truck can't get across. The rabbits, the deer and the birds all listened to him. Then the birds started chirping to each other before they flew away. The rabbits squealed and the deer ran off. Mr. Q was alone again. He was wondering what to do when he saw a large flock of eagles swooping down towards him. They landed on his truck and looked straight at him. Then something surprising happened. One by one, the eagles swooped into the truck and picked up a box, each with their strong talons. They lifted into the air and, much to Mr. Q's surprise, they flew off across the river, leaving his truck empty. Before he knew it, an eagle swooped over him and picked him up gently from his back of his jacket. Just like the boxes, Mr. Q was also flown over the river. It was a strange thing to see. Mr. Q hanging from an eagle's talon with his arms stretched out like a bird. The eagles dropped off their cargo and passengers safely on the other side of the river and flew off happily. So there was Mr. Q with his red, yellow and blue boxes waving to every car that passed by until a blue truck with a kind driver stopped. He drove Mr. Q and the boxes to the children's hospital. The next day, the children at the hospital had a wonderful party. with toys, balloons, and games for everyone. Mr. Q was invited too, and you could hear him humming. Ta-dee-da-da-da-da, ta-dee-da-da-da-da, parties are fun, parties are fun.